The website is a reflection of the brand. Good morning everyone and welcome once again to another user experience analysis with IRG Web Analytics. In today's video, we are taking a look at the Real Madrid website, one of the biggest football clubs on the world, based in Madrid, Spain. But is their website as good as their football? Since it's a website with a lot of information, we'll focus on the two areas most frequently visited by users: the homepage and the match calendar. Let's get started. Upon entering Real Madrid's homepage, the first thing that stands out is the top navigation bar. This bar should be the central hub of navigation, where users can find all the essential sections, like buying tickets, accessing the members area, checking the match calendar, and more. However, there's an issue here. A second, less visible navigation bar exists, which may confuse users. Can you spot it? It's the hamburger menu button, subtly located on the left. When clicked, it reveals additional options like choosing the sport, football or basketball, and accessing the calendar. Interestingly, some of these options, like the store, are repeated from the main bar, creating redundancy and confusion. Ideally, both bars should be merged into one, consolidating all the content clearly and accessibly in a single location. This way, users would know that they are seeing all available options, not just a subset. Visually, the main navigation bar is clear. However, its behavior is inconsistent. Some tabs refresh content within the same page, while others open a new tab. This breaks the feeling of continuity. A better approach would be to unify how all buttons behave, keeping users on the same page whenever possible, or at the very least, signaling with an icon when a new tab will open. Also, the section titles are well defined, helping users stay oriented. Another improvement point is the visual separation between sections. A strategic use of color could help break them up and improve readability. A nice user experience detail is the hover effect. When hovering over an image, it slightly enlarges and the text turns purple. It's subtle but effective. Still, it could be enhanced by adding a short description or preview of what the user will find if they click. Finally, when reaching to the bottom of the page, there's no quick way to return to the top. A simple back to top button would be a very practical enhancement. Moving on to the calendar, the first impression is positive. It's visually clear. The filter button is well placed and the currently viewed month is highlighted in purple. This is a great example of good user interface. When analyzing a specific match, the layout is clean, the contrast is adequate, and the information is precise without overwhelming the user. However, when taking a step back and viewing the calendar as a whole, a complication arises. The systems shows too many matches from different sports and the categories altogether, with no clear visual differentiation. Football and basketball are mixed, as are first team matches with youth teams, the reserve team, or even junior categories. This forces the user to carefully read each team's name to understand what kind of match it is. There are no visual indicators, such as icons, colors, or labels, to help distinguish them quickly. Instead of displaying all matches mixed together by default, a clear improvement would be to show a default selection that clarifies what kind of events are currently being viewed. For example, right next to the filter button, it could be clearly indicated that the user is currently seeing first-team football matches. That way, the user wouldn't have to examine match by match to figure out if it's football, basketball, or what level. Another useful improvement would be to visually distinguish past matches using a lighter color or reduced opacity. A well-implemented feature is that as you scroll, the filters and month switch buttons stay fixed. This makes navigation much easier, as the user doesn't need to scroll back to the top to change filters or switch months. Additionally, there's a very useful button that lets the user jump back to the current date. This is especially helpful after browsing through past or upcoming months and wanting to return to today without manually clicking through. Another enhancement would be to include a traditional calendar grid view. This would allow users to quickly see which days have matches. For example, if there's something happening on a Monday. Furthermore, I want to highlight an important detail. When selecting a match and clicking on More Information, the message No Scheduled Event sometimes appears. This can give the impression that the match has been cancelled. A clear message like No Additional Information Available would be more accurate. Lastly, a particularly frustrating issue arises when viewing a match details and trying to go back. Currently, the only way to return is by using the browser's back button. Sometimes the browser back button doesn't work properly, taking the user out of the calendar entirely or leaving them stuck, forcing them to start over. This breaks the flow of the experience and creates a feeling of disorientation and loss of control. A simple but highly effective solution would be to include a built-in back button that returns to the previous view without losing filters or scroll position. To wrap up, after analyzing the user experience of the two key areas of the Real Madrid website, I would like to highlight several major issues affecting navigation and user interaction. Among the most important we have covered are redundant menus, lack of visual and functional consistency in navigation, missing back buttons at key points, and difficulty navigating the match calendar. While the website has an attractive and functional structure overall, there are clear opportunities to improve navigation, button behavior, and interaction flow. By addressing these areas, Real Madrid could offer a much more intuitive, efficient, and satisfying user experience. And before we go, let me know in the comments which website you would like me to analyze next. Remember, your website is a reflection of your brand. So, if you need a consultation, don't hesitate to contact IRG Web Analytics, where we offer a comprehensive analysis of your website along with improvement proposals and implementation. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.